The warden grabbed a book from the side and threw it at the wall, but what he didn't expect was that the book went straight through the wall. He was extremely puzzled, stood up, and slowly walked over to inspect. As he got closer, he discovered that the once thick wall had turned into a piece of newspaper covered in mud, and there was an inexplicable hole that had been dug in it. Could the prisoner have escaped through here? He quickly called the sheriff, and after learning the situation, the sheriff immediately climbed inside to check. To his surprise, the hole hadn't been dug all the way through, meaning the prisoner didn't escape through here. What's more, he found that the prisoner had deliberately made the passage slanted. After measuring, they found that the passage was 30 meters long. The warden was extremely confused about how the prisoner had managed to dig such a deep tunnel in just 6 months. The sheriff then picked up a spoon nearby and told the warden that this was the tool the prisoner used for digging. The prisoner first used salt to corrode the wall, which sped up the digging process, and this salt came from the food delivered every day. Every day, when the guards brought meals, Annie would smear the soup on the wall to speed up the corrosion of the mud. She would then continue digging with the spoon, but it took a lot of time. So, she requested a large number of books from the prison, claiming she would be studying in her cell every day. But these books had another purpose. They were used to cover the hole. She spread mud evenly on the paper, then wet it, and finally glued it to the wall. This way, when the guards came for a check, they wouldn't notice. When she needed to dig again, she would open it up. But what about the soil she dug up? Actually, Annie had already figured that out. Since the prison was built on a cliff, with no barriers and strong winds, she just had to throw the dirt out of the window. The wind would naturally blow the dirt away. In 6 months, the passage had reached a depth of 30 meters, and Annie's escape plan was ready to begin. Since Annie hadn't been seen by the other prisoners for a long time, everyone had forgotten about her. By chance, the leadership came for an inspection that day, and everyone was busy welcoming them. The guards wouldn't notice that Annie had already made her way outside. Annie walked towards the leader's car. When the guards came to deliver the meal and found that Annie, who should have been at the door, hadn't shown up, they realized something was wrong. They quickly opened the cell door, but found only an empty room. At that moment, Annie was already hiding under the car. The guards immediately sounded the alarm, and the prison went into emergency mode. To ensure the safety of the leadership, the warden quickly escorted them to the car, but he never imagined that Annie was hiding under the car at that moment. When he returned to the cell, all he found was the passage, but it was just a decoy to mislead the guards and buy time. By the time they entered and found the tunnel was a fake, 25 minutes had passed. At that point, Annie had already gotten out of the car, and the freedom of tomorrow's sunlight awaited her.